Hello and welcome to the Recently Played podcast. It's a new podcast by us, Consistently Trash, where we talk about what we've recently played, clues in the name. We have Joe, Aidan, Denver. How is everyone?
Very good. Well, not so good. I've started playing FIFA, and I feel like it brings out every toxic trait in my personality that possibly exists, and I need to stop.
Is this genuinely going to be your recently played?
No. I've got lots to talk about. I've got lots to talk about.
I mean, you can talk about FIFA.
What makes you keep playing FIFA if you hate it?
It feels like addiction at this point. Like
Yeah.
you know, like there was always that thing, like where like when you first your first game of Call of Duty, right? They always buff all your like stats, so you have a really good game, and then every game after that, you're just trying to do as good as you did that one time. And that's kind of that was the talk on it anyway. And I feel like that's what FIFA is for me. I have one good game, and I think I'm going to score like 6 goals every game now, and then I don't, and I get very angry, and it burns my insides. And that's how I feel.
Do you think FIFA has like secret shit teams that it sneaks in the main game?
I don't know. I just feel like every game is different. Like it feels like sometimes my players are like fucking on fire. They're making all the correct runs and everything. And then some games it feels like my players don't do anything. I feel there's some hidden algorithm anyway. Maybe I'm just being a bitch. But I do feel like there's some hidden algorithm in there that means that your players don't play as good all the time.
This is what I used to think, like, when I would play it every day, all night, when I was a kid and didn't play any other games. And I would literally go, like, 3 seasons without losing, and then go 3 seasons of just losing, and then I'd be like, what is this? Like, what has changed?
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
They just hate me. And then I'll leave it
I don't
for a
know.
week and play it again, and I'm back up.
I feel like there's a disconnect there because what Joe's saying is like maybe there's a problem with the algorithm, whereas 13-year-old Will literally prayed. It was actually a religion for you. You were like, please, FIFA God, let me get this win.
I was part of a FIFA cult.
Get this dub.
It's the classic, like, FIFA's one of those, it's along with the sort of casual classics of, like, people play FIFA and COD and maybe nothing else.
It's the game games. It's the, if you tell your mum you're playing a game, that's what she's got in her head. You know?
But, like, yeah. Like, I feel like maybe gaming's changed a lot more nowadays with, like, things like Game Pass and stuff. I'm engaging this with people off work who, like, aren't, like, out-and-out gamers, but they'll have played a lot of different games just because, like, oh, I'm bored of, like, the classics, like COD, FIFA, whatever. And they're like, oh, this is free on Xbox Game Pass, and they'll just give it a try.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, yeah, that was fun. They'll just play it for 8-10 hours, play it. Be like, yeah, that's fun. Put it down.
And then go back to FIFA.
Yeah, literally. So I think you do get a lot more. People do play a lot more varied games now, I think. But
Yeah, I agree.
I just mean specifically my parents when I'm trying to get them to watch the Last of Us TV show.
Yeah, it's like what it's like interesting because we have our own vision of what video games are, right? And like non-video game people, I wonder what they think video games are. You know, like we fucking cry at The Last of Us, we cry at God of War, we cry at Red Dead, and they think that we're just fucking playing.
We cry at Sleeping Dogs.
They just think we're playing fucking Tetris. You know what I mean?
Bug
Bun.
I think
I can't do
that's
the thing.
exactly it. It's the like. There's still very much, maybe a lot less nowadays, but quite a stigma, isn't there? I think with some people would just flat out not want to play anything.
Yeah,
have anything to do with games.
Stupid people.
And they don't realise that gaming
especially if they're a partner
world.
of somebody that I know. Those are the stupidest people.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, and they're like gardening.
Speaking
gardening and tidying
Nobody.
the house.
Who does that? But speaking of partners, I have some great news. And that is that Will's
you're pregnant.
You're
pregnant.
Will's camera's crashed. Oh no, it's back. Thank you, but I'm not. No, but
What? You're not? Are you sure?
We have devised a list because anyone outside of this friend group will not know that my partner has an addiction. She only plays Last of Us.
Yeah, it is a problem, I think.
And I've been trying to get her to play other games. She's like, no, I'm just enjoying Last of Us. Just let me enjoy Last of Us.
Especially when, like, to a lot of other people, the people who dislike Last of Us often dislike it because of the gameplay. They don't like the slow, weighty disconnect that the game has.
Yeah.
But from what somebody said before, Holly only plays it
for the gameplay. Yeah, she only plays it because how brutal it is and like how
doesn't care about.
She doesn't care about. Well, she cared about the story the first couple of times. Now it's just her. Like it's her escape to just go and just kill some zombies and some people. She likes messing with the clickers. But what we've done is we had a conversation. I said, look, I really want you to experience some other games. And she was like, right. And I was like, why don't we look through the games and make a list of games that you need to play that we think you'll enjoy? And we did. So here is the list.
Oh, you got it.
I've got the list. These are the games that we're going to get through.
Tetris.
There's only like 10 games on this list. We thought
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good, man.
because we thought even if it takes you a year. So the first one, Red Dead 2. She's got to play Red Dead 2 just because how amazing it is. These aren't going to be in order how she plays them. We might get her a bit easier. So Red Dead 2, right at the top of the list there. She's got to play it.
Her just getting completely distracted with some side aspect of the game though, and never beating it.
No, because she doesn't like the side stuff. She just likes she just likes
playing just
beelining it. Exactly.
You know what I mean? We just sat at that table and Lenny comes along.
Wasn't there someone on the Yostcast live stream who, during the poker live stream, said she just plays Red Dead Poker all the time?
See, I went through a rabbit hole of doing that quite a lot.
Like just hours of just Red Dead Poker.
Fucking love poker.
Fun, you know?
It is fun.
There's nothing more satisfying than cleaning house of 15 whole cents.
Exactly.
And Arthur looking so happy with himself. Or like you put in 2 cents, right?
And he's like,
oh! I fold, and you just pick up the blinds, and he's like, yeah.
He's like, oh, money.
Masterful play.
He does. He's so proud of himself every time.
Dutch, you won't believe what I got. 15 cents. That's good, Arthur. But Bill brought in 1 owl feather. Oh, come on, Dutch.
It is so like owl.
You do, because you put in like $1,000, and like everyone else is going, oh, I put in a pocket watch. and then they come up to you like, Arthur, I see you haven't put in the pot in a while.
It's like, the pot is the size it is because of me.
Literally.
The second game, Dying Light 2.
Okay.
Not the first one. I don't know why I didn't want to put the first one in there, but Dying Light 2.
Just the newer one.
She actually was the one who pointed that one out. Was like, I saw you play that, and it's just killing zombies, and that's what I like, so I'll play that. Fits into her genre.
Yep.
Third game, she likes horror games, so you'll see a lot of horrors. Resident Evil Village. She played Resident Evil 7. She really liked it. So we've got to play the new one. Next one is Both the Evil Withins. She played the first one, really liked it. She loves horror games. Never played the second one properly. Like we got 10 minutes into it, but I think she got confused by the open worldness of it. But there's a bit more freedom in the second one. So that's on the list. Outlast 2. I've just realised these are all horror games.
So you're going to see a lot of horror games, not just
all of them. She loves the first Outlast, and I said the second one wasn't as good and deterred her, but she seems to want to play it, so we'll go for it at some point.
There's the new one soon.
Yeah.
Outlast.
All the Metros. I feel like she'll love the Metro games. Sorry.
There's a lot to them though. Like, I mean, no, you know, like she could definitely learn them. I'm not gonna like. What am I trying to say? I'm gonna mansplain gaming to somebody that plays games all the time. You've got a controller, a remote controller. Like Metro just had so many buttons and stuff that just did nothing in it, and I feel like it's quite overwhelming when you first play it.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you've got like clipboard, lighter, just lighter on its own, wipe mask, change filter while wiping mask.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many buttons that just don't really you don't need.
Made for PC where they were like,
oh
right,
yeah,
we've got all these keys. let's use them.
Use all of them as well. But I feel like it's really overwhelming at start. I didn't like Metro when I started playing it the first time, and then I really got into it. So I think she'll really like that. They've got
a charm. The Metro games have definitely got a certain charm.
I've never played them.
3, yeah. One. Well, it was 2033, Last Light, and then an Exodus.
Oh, I don't have Exodus. I haven't even
with
played.
my mic cursor on there.
I think they're making another one as well.
I think they are, yeah.
We've got Mafia on there, but in brackets maybe because she doesn't know whether she's going to like them, so she's going to try out these other games and see how she feels.
The first Mafia.
No, just all of them. Probably Mafia 2 being the one to play.
It's the best one.
It is. Kena Bridge of Spirits. It's on there. It's like
Very different.
it's a tenner.
I've
It's a
got
tenner. I don't. It's only like a tenner though on PlayStation right now. It's on a deal.
Right.
On Steam now as well.
And finally, Dead Space 2. I think
Oh,
she'll
it is on there. It is on there. The greatest horror game.
But you can't get it on PlayStation, so I'm gonna have to get it on PC. Well, I've got it on PC, so.
Well, or
You
get the new one.
look, the remake. It's like £70 for.
Yeah, well, later on in the year.
Yeah. But yeah. So, are there any other suggestions there?
Oh yeah, I got a suggestion. Go fuck yourself.
Thank you. I might.
Does she like story or does she just like killing things?
She likes story-driven games.
Spec Ops The Line.
Yeah,
But-
that's gotta be on
The
there.
biggest, most fucked up fuck you of a game ever,
But
Spec Ops The Line.
is-
Where
is-
if you start playing it to kill people,
Yeah.
and you end it wondering what the fuck you've just done.
Done. Yeah.
And you look down at your hands and you're like, oh, oh.
I feel like she'd
I think-
really like that.
Because I was going to say Dead Rising, but like...
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Dead
like,
Rising is
Rising
definitely a
killing
shout.
shit. And
It's a
there's
bit
so
go-
many ways of killing things in that
It's
game.
a bit
that
goofy
just-
though, isn't it? It's like
It is. So if she's wanting story, they're not really the place to go, are they? Like, realistically, but
You telling me that the story of Chuck Green and his daughter isn't the most hard-hitting piece of literature in the last 20
No,
years?
that's all.
What do you mean?
I heard you say Uncharted there, Will. She is so hard set on not playing that game.
Wow, they're so good.
She hates treasure hunting things. Because we were discussing, do we have Tomb Raider on there? She's
That's
like,
so
no,
specific.
I hate treasure hunting. No.
Why?
I was like, okay, no worries.
You not like
This-
Indiana Jones?
No, she hates Indiana Jones.
Why?
Ah.
What's her reasoning?
What about the Batman game?
No, we've been down that. She went, no, don't want to touch Batman.
It's so
Bioshock.
satisfying though.
I'd touch Batman.
Mad Max.
She said, I think you've shown me it before and I didn't like the look of it.
What about the Bioshock games?
That could be a good shout there, Denver.
They're all free on PlayStation.
There you go, Bioshock. The Big Daddy fights are
Yeah,
scary
'cause
as fuck.
they're a bit of a darker undertone of a game.
I'm interested to see how she deals with first-person games because I don't think she's actually played one
Of
before.
course, yeah.
So that'd be interesting.
Elden Ring.
I've honestly,
Jump.
I've actually tried really hard to get her into it, but she's like maybe another time type of thing. We'll put it on the list anyway. But yeah, so there's quite a big selection there. So hopefully we're going to try and get one every couple of months and see how she feels. So I'm excited. We'll check in on the next episode to see how she's doing with the games.
Yeah.
You'll have to like tick them off.
I mean, if
Definitely.
you don't want to kill anything, also, I want to say not Until Dawn. Is it Until Dawn? The one that I was starting. No, Life is Strange. I feel like
Life's
like that
Strange,
one as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
that is a good game.
Because even though it's not got killing things, the story's pretty cool, and I don't know. I just feel like Hollywood like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's the new one coming out very soon.
Well, it's something I've not played, so that'd be interesting.
So it's decent from what I played, but I didn't finish it, so I can't really say. But anyway,
Fake fan.
So what about you guys? What you guys been playing?
Aidan.
oh,
No,
you just
no, fuck you. You do it.
What?
Do you dare try and take control of this? I say you.
Oh, okay.
All right,
What
so
have I
I'll
been
go.
playing?
no. I'm gonna take it from both of you, and
Oh shit!
The curveball.
and I'm gonna be like, actually, this is a one that me and Aidan can speak about together because at the start of this month we played Journey.
Oh, we did.
What's Journey?
Let's
It
hit him.
won-
Let's hit him with a direct quote straight off the back. Is that artsy fartsy game, Denver Wilson?
Literally. I think it's the people who made like Stray and what other game? They've made like the Outer Wilds, and although they're very like indie.
They are prolific.
Games.
They're prolific on the indie scene.
I've never seen this game.
It won Game of the Year before Last of Us came out. I think it's like 2012.
Why don't you give a brief plot summary, Will, of Journey?
Okay, you're a weird. I don't know what you really are, to be honest. You're just this person with a big cape. You look kind of strange and funky. You're in a desert. It's fucking gorgeous. Like, actually, one of the nicest looking games ever for its art style. The art style's insane. It's not like realistic looking. It just looks like visually amazing. And you kind of just go through different stages. And we found out that it was co-op, and it was only like £3 on Steam. It was like in the sale. It's really cheap. It's only like a 2-hour game. But you kind of just go on this journey of like going through these different stages. And
you go on a journey?
What did you say?
No, never fucking want to know.
Fuck off.
Shit.
Fuck off, Connor.
And by doing the different stages and puzzles and working your way around things, you gather scarves, which extend your thing, which means you can do more shit. And then you progress with that, and you find out more of what's gone on. And it's basically, I don't know whether we like spoil stuff with this podcast. Like, do we not say too much?
It's up to you. You can hit spoiler warning right now.
I'll try and do it without spoiling it, I guess.
Sure.
But basically, you just find out the story and how the world kind of got ended and why it ended, and then the journey is like getting all the way to the top of this mountain. Again, by progressing, and you don't like start off in co-op. It's the weirdest way of doing co-op I think I've ever seen, because you don't start together. You do the first area on your own, and then me and Aidan were like, well, how do we join each other? Because there's no like invite, and you just go to the next stage, and me and Aidan just happen to be there. Like, there's no like join. We didn't like accept an invite. We were just both there and was like, oh, is this you? And it was just us.
That's weird.
So I don't know whether when it came out, like,
because you started it at the same time, and it's like a.
I
It
really
was
don't know.
literally that. Yeah, I think it's more like if there are two people in the same zone at the same place at the same time, you just start playing together.
But then I don't know if there's like a maximum amount of people that can do it. When me and Aidan went too far away from each other, we would just disappear on each other's screens. But then if we came close again, we would just reappear. Like, it's really weird. And the journey's just like, eventually you get to the end and it's like a real struggle. And I think you basically die.
Would you say it's very similar to Halo or Far Cry 5?
It's both those games. At the same time.
Because Steam has said it's similar to games you've played, Halo the Master Chief Collection and Far Cry 5.
It's just like it, because if anything, the story makes about as much sense as the Halo story.
I mean, you understand what's happened, I feel.
Vaguely. It's
Vaguely.
done. No, nothing like that. It is all done through in between mission like cutscenes, big air quotes there, or like these like placards that you find on the wall, like murals and stuff. And it's left very ambiguous. The first few times we saw them, Will thought that the characters we were playing as were dogs.
I did.
And Will was like, why haven't we seen any dogs yet? Look, we've seen a dog on the street. It's right there. And I was like, I think that's us.
It was quite hard to get your head around. And by the end, I think I kind of got it. But it's as
Even
much
now,
as your quote was, Denver, it kind of is artsy-fartsy.
It's artsy-fartsy.
But, like, I still really enjoyed it. And it feels amazing to play. Like,
the fluidity. Yeah, the movement.
Like follow a path.
Bit of both,
it's like
really.
follow a path, but you can within each area. There's like shit you can find to like level yourself up, or you can find out more story. And then for like, so like doing it, you'll have to like release these like scarves as well as like I would guess they're supposed to be like spirits. Not sure, but they help guide you and show you the way. But again, you can go off the beaten track and kind of just find stuff within these areas. But
Is
at
it
the
open
end,
world?
you still have to go. No, like in the end, you still have to go to the right place to move on.
It's got so many like amazing ratings. Like, this just doesn't sound like there's a lot.
I mean, the
it's just
soundtrack is fucking
yeah,
awesome as well.
Soundtrack was nice. Visuals are just lovely. As I said, the majority of the game is about movement, and movement is something they've got completely nailed down. The fluidity of movement is incredible.
And the sound like moves with it, and like the way you get these scarves, and you can like jump higher, or you can by being closer you jump higher, or if we ran out of energy when we came together, you gain the energy back again. So it's all literally like. I don't know what it'd be like solo, because I swear some of the jumps were quite hard to make on your own, but it definitely helped.
We cheesed some stuff.
Oh, definitely. But like, I guess that's why it's supposed to be. But genuinely, it's actually really quite fun to play. And if you just want like a quick sit down 2-hour game to chill out to, it's genuinely really fun. And
Oh shit! My bad.
someone smarter than us might actually get it a bit more.
What the fuck, Joe?
My bad.
But I would recommend
Oh, it's so
it
hot.
to people. But I wouldn't be able to, as you can tell by this, fully explain what's going on. So it's one of them. But I would definitely play it, and I can see why. It's like an Oscar movie that,
Oh yeah.
like, where it's kind of
Oh, no,
weird
never
to make, weird to
Sorry.
like get the grip of what's fucking going on. But big reviewers will be like, it's the greatest game ever.
It's so incredible.
Oh,
The only
sounds like
thing
I
I
need to play it.
The only other thing I'd say is I've read about it, and apparently like loads of indie games since then have kind of been inspired by the way that like this game played out. So I don't know, like it was very prolific when it came out, apparently. This is actually the only reason I went to play it. I wouldn't have just looked at it and thought, yeah, it's cool. It's the fact that so many people know about it, and it being this quite big game in the industry.
I've never heard of it before. That's all.
2012.
Yeah, literally the year before Last of Us.
Pre
So-
and post Last of Us.
But I would recommend. It's super cheap, 2-hour game. Just play it. It's decent, and it feels so nice to play.
You know, if you're not doing anything else, play it.
I think I will.
I mean, I'd play it again, Joseph, if you want to play it.
Yeah, man, I'd be down. 100%.
Yeah, that's fine. You leave me out of it.
I mean, no, if you play it as well, we
No,
can find
fine,
out whether
no.
it is free
That's
play.
fine. No, you guys do whatever you want.
I have got another game, but I don't know if someone else wants to butt in
No,
with
carry
what
on.
they've played.
I
I've also.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, you really were putting in. Go.
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. I played Star Wars Fallen Order
Again.
for the
I'm also
third
playing
time.
it.
Whoa.
For the third time, and I can confirm that I've also 100%ed it for the second time.
Congratulations.
First, platinum on PlayStation, and then this I played it on Steam and 100%ed it.
Are there any tricky
Mainly-
trophies in there that are worth mentioning? Or is it just 100% all the areas, or is there like, pull 2 people in with force powers and then cut their heads off?
No, there is shit like that. So there's like you have to.
It's always easy to go back and do them, isn't it? Because like
Yeah.
all the enemies just respawn in the areas, don't they?
So you go to like 5 different planets, and you can only visit certain areas when you've got like the things you get later in the game. So it
Right.
does promote going back to those places. So like you can't
Joe?
swim. Hey?
Has Joe never played it?
Yeah?
Yeah, yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
but
like,
I've played
obvi-
it twice.
What the fuck you on about, Will? We've all played it. All right, end review.
Sorry, it just like don't know, like with the like you can't swim at the start. Like you can't go underwater
Yeah,
until
but neither
like
can babies.
no. Also true. It's the journey of life, basically.
It's the
Did
journey!
someone say journey?
no,
Right,
it's
so
the
you're
journey.
like, imagine like a tube, but it's a dog, and you've got a scarf that correlates directly to your dick size.
And he's in
I
the
feel like I
desert.
did
Oh,
very well at explaining journey
I
for
think
what
you
it is.
did well. Genuinely, you
are
did.
you drinking Prime Wit there, Will?
I'm
No,
drinking Prime.
Oh
Stop
my god.
it.
No.
I've got
No.
clickbait it.
Stop it.
So I got yeah, so like you can't swim until 3/4 of the way through the game, which obviously there's swimming areas in previous planet. So in terms of that, there is lots of
Constantly
chests
going back on
underwater.
yourself, isn't it?
But there is also the trophies where you have to do certain things, like you have to kill an enemy just by kicking it, and you have to slice off Ogdo Bogdo's tongue, which you can only do by like force pulling it in and slicing it. Which again, you only get later in the game to do that. And there's random bits like that. There's some like annoying trophies. You have to 100% and get every single data link, which isn't even when you 100% a planet. It doesn't necessarily mean you've got all the data links.
Oh, that's
so like
annoying.
I'd 100%ed everything, and I was like, right, now I can do the final level and just finish it. And it's like, you haven't done it yet. And I was looking why, and because obviously you can scan every enemy.
Yeah.
I hadn't scanned the fucking
Darth
the
Vader.
plants that eat. No, like the plants that, what do you call them? The big
Venus flytraps.
There's massive Venus flytraps on,
Venus?
and I hadn't.
No wonder I got kicked out of the fucking garden centre.
For fuck's sake. But it like I didn't scan it, and it's just a random fucking thing, and that's all I had to do. But
Is there a thing that tracks them?
Yeah, you can see. So I knew what planet it was, but I didn't realise until the very end because I forgot that was the thing. But it is a fairly easy platinum. I did it in like 23 hours.
That's not bad.
But I did speed through because it was my third time playing it. But it's just.
I'll tell you what. You know, every game always has that bit where you're like, oh fucking hell, I forgot this bit was in the game. I feel like for me that bit is when you're in that little cave bit and you've got to force push all the balls and put them in all the right place.
In Zepho.
Yeah, and that bit for me is it's this part of the game. Like God of War Ragnarok has the Atreus bit. Ragnarok has that fucking Atreus bit in Jotunheim. That's the fuck me, it's this part.
I didn't mind it.
What are other games that have fuck me, it's this part? Fucking Last of Us doesn't have any of that.
Fallout 4, the entire hour
the entire
intro.
To me, I think every game always does have that bit because depending on the scale of how good the game is, if they ever have a bit where they change it up dramatically, it's often either that is by far the best part or it's slightly worse. So you say The Last of Us doesn't have it, but I still think the part where you play as Ellie is just the worst part.
Yeah, there is. That is a fuck me, it's this part bit. Red Dead 2, the Guarma bit. Anytime.
I like how it splits up the game.
Anytime.
They put these things in games to split up the game.
Anytime Spider-Man pulls out the fucking spider drone in the Spider-Man game, that's fucking hell, there we go.
One thing with Fallen Order though, because I'm also playing it back again to sort of decide what I want to do with the next game, is it just made me realise how, especially coming off God of War, how just not nearly as tight the combat is. Like I feel like there's like a lag in everything.
But what we got to forget, what we forget is that game came out way before it was done, and because they forced them to release it, like EA forced them to release it before it was finished.
Fuck EA.
So I'm hoping this new one is a lot tighter, a lot less glitchy.
But they didn't even fix it though.
They didn't.
Like,
no.
the bugs.
But I feel
they remade it for PS5. They didn't fix any of the issues.
But I feel like they were like,
you...
"Fuck it, let's move on to the next thing," type of thing.
Are you playing it on PlayStation then?
Yes.
Because when I played it on PlayStation, I had quite a few bugs. Genuinely not had that many bugs on PC, and I played it on.
I originally played it on PC and now played it on PlayStation.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know what it is, but
so like I've got a bug right now where the audio in the cutscenes plays about 5 seconds after the animation.
Really?
I couldn't even imagine playing the game like that. It'd be so bad.
I'll tell you what, the worst part about that game though, with the audio and stuff, is the fact that you can't skip cutscenes. And some of them are so long. So like on my second playthrough, I was like, I don't want to watch any of this, and it does not physically have a skip cutscene button.
Can't skip.
No, you can't skip them.
Well, you're telling me you don't want to hear Sarah talk about her problems for the 19th time?
I was like, oh, fuck
why they're bigger than Cal's.
Cal's like, I can't do it. I'm supposed to save the universe. Says like, I too have had a bad day.
It's so true, but it's still like
little like polished things like how if you heal with like when you ask to heal from BD giving you a stim, even if he's not on your back, the stim still appears from your back.
Yeah.
And like the same with if you open a crate underwater, it's still the same animation because when you're above ground, BD jumps in the crate, wobbles it about, gets the stuff out. When you go to an underwater one, he doesn't jump in, but the crate still
wobbles.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, but I feel like the game. There's no like game-breaking bugs. It's just like little bits of polish where you're like, oh, it could have probably done with like another 6 months, year to properly.
But that's
make
when
it.
like playing the game as polished as God of War.
I was going to say
Those things just stand out so much.
the comparisons are almost unfair.
I remember when I did
especially God of War 1.
Oh,
it's
literally.
So fucking.
I remember when I played God of War and then went on to Valhalla and I was like, this is the worst game ever. And I should not have done that straight after.
You've done that a few times now. Elden Ring to Brotherhood.
No.
Yeah.
But that one as bad. Like,
You want to switch to like a first-person shooter.
Yeah, and I usually try that, but because I've been trying to do all this backlog, it's just been one of them. Before, I'll just finish off because I've rambled. I mainly played it because of the new game coming out in March. Very excited.
Is that March? Is it coming out in March?
Yes.
Holy shit! I need to do a replay through as well.
Obviously, I'm a massive sucker for Star Wars, and I think it fits in very well. They did a very good job of that, so I'm very intrigued for the next one. I would recommend anyone play it.
Just a bit meta, isn't it?
I don't know. I thought it was quite good. I genuinely enjoyed it, but
Star Wars. Star Wars fans.
It would be difficult for me.
I like
not to enjoy
Cal
Star Wars.
Yeah, like it would have had to be actively bad, and it's not in any way bad.
Yeah, no, I genuinely enjoyed it. I'm very excited.
Somebody could serve a Star Wars fan cat vomit on a plate, and they'd be like, "Wow, is this Glub Glubby from the Star System Gulampolo?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, it's Glub Glubby."
There's barely any.
I can't remember like what happened. So as I'm playing through it, I remember like certain beats in the game, but I can't remember like, whereabouts that is in the game. If you know what I mean. Like I don't know how far in I am.
I also love Cal. I think it's just great.
Cal Kestis is great.
And I hope they put him in live action. He
is ginger. Just want to throw that out there. He is ginger.
But you mentioned Valhalla earlier, Will, and it's ironic you said that because my recently played game, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I've kind of been playing it on and off for a while now, and I definitely want to go back to it and play it a lot more.
Isn't it a super long game though?
It's not compared to like Odyssey and Origins, which were like fucking 120-hour, 60-hour games. Apparently,
Is they really?
Yeah. Well, Odyssey took me I think like 150 hours to complete something like that. But that's like doing all the extras and stuff. I think Valhalla is like just a 60-hour game, which is pretty average for like an open world game, I would say. Issue being with it, to be honest, I'm actually enjoying it. But I felt like the reason I've played it in stages is because you can only take so much of the empty fucking open world for so long. Like, the first 6 hours of that game are so jam-packed with story and stuff to do, and then it opens you up into, obviously, like, part of England, or most of England. And there's just fuck all to do. There's basically no side missions.
And nothing's changed,
Do you think Assassin's Creed are still stuck in that, like, 2010 mentality, where bigger maps is what people are after?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember when that was always a time when people, like...
I was like, I want a big map, yeah.
The new Grand Theft Auto is coming out.
How big's the map going to be? Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's going to be 2 times bigger. Go on.
It's funny you should say that because they've obviously Mirage is coming out this year.
Yes.
And they recently came out with a statement that it's going to be a lot smaller because they thought the other games were way too big.
They are. Yeah.
That's good.
But then we like that. But then loads of people in the comments who obviously love the new games were like, no, bigger is always better. No, it's not.
Who the fuck is saying that?
Literally, that was all over like IGN's thing, and I was like, what are you on about?
The thing is, they've just kind of lost track of what Assassin's Creed is about, really, isn't it? Like, you haven't actually played as a proper assassin for a long time.
It's like how much can you milk?
And it's not really a stealth game anymore. I mean, they brought Vikings into it. Vikings are fucking awesome, as we know. But like, Vikings are not stealthy people. What made them think to do an Assassin's Creed game? But then they didn't make it. It's not about assassins at all. The closest thing to an assassin is the fact that there's an assassin in it.
Tom Clanky.
And it just
Sorry, I'll Mr. Assassin's Creed.
Mr. Creed. I'll be back. I'll literally be 2 seconds.
No worries, dude. I'm still enjoying Valhalla. I'm enjoying the story and everything. It's buggy as fuck. and there's like some hidden things, but then I don't know. It's just not like it was. I wish it'd go.
No, I've been slowly playing through the old ones because it wasn't just the fact it's buggy. There's these random characters like, do you know when you go out with the Animus?
Yeah.
I had no fucking idea who anyone was, and I was like, and that just instantly bugs me. I've got this massive like OCD thing about playing games in order, so I know what's going on. Yeah. So I've done one, and I've done the Ezio trilogy now.
Sorry,
so
you've done one. You've done the Ezio trilogy. So your camera was shaking like every time. Yeah.
I've done the Ezio trilogy now. I did Revelations in December. So I'm on to Assassin's Creed 3 next, and then Black Flag, which I'm probably the most excited for. And eventually, I'll get round to the bigger ones, but I'm not rushing it. But PlayStation suck because they won't let me refund it after only playing it for less than an hour.
Yeah, they are pretty bad with like customer
refunds.
Stuff like that.
Neptune Moon says, "Dude, why is there 2 guns on that bed? When did he become Donald Trump?"
Just in case he needs them.
You never know.
I don't know if I'm gonna have to blur that on YouTube. You know, is that
you might?
They are fake, but like.
Well, one's blue and one's from about the 1800s. So.
Just censor it with fake gun just above it.
One's like an airsoft pistol, isn't it?
One's an airsoft gun and the other one's like a replica.
I can't see that, chat.
Aidan forever never making his bed look fucking.
I don't know how he sleeps because I was there the other day and that sword was in that exact position. Does he sleep with the sword?
He sleeps with all his weapons just in case he needs them.
You never know.
Spoon's his weapon.
Oh, there he is.
Speak of the devil. Look at him.
Hey, yo, what's good? What's up?
Speak of the devil and he shall arrive.
Why? What did you say about me?
We had a comment who was mentioning about your guns in the background.
Don't look at them. They're not real. And if they were, I'd find you.
So
no, I love guns.
So
2 guns, a sword, and a beard. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? You're not wrong, Neptune.
Apparently, Valhalla is actually the longest Assassin's Creed game.
Is it? I could just have told a Joel Midwood. Joel Miller.
Joel forgets his own name.
Joe Midwood lied, but to be fair, when I got into it, I was enjoying it, and I loved the dice game that's in it. I could spend hours just doing the dice game.
They've literally sold that as an actual.
They have, and you can get the cheap version, or you can get the collector's edition version, which is like £700 because there's only like a few of them out there. But it's all real wood and real stone and stuff, and that's so cool. I'd definitely have it. I hope with Mirage they do honour what they said and they go back to like how Assassin's Creed used to be. Like I would love, like how Unity was. I would love like a more polished
French,
I want the parkour to be back like that because the parkour of Valhalla is shit. And it is in Odyssey as well. And there's like nowhere to actually parkour as well. And I feel like
there's no tall buildings.
That was such a foundation of Assassin's Creed, and they were like, "Yeah, we don't need that anymore."
Yeah, we're just gonna place all these guards on top of people's houses because that makes sense.
I mean, that was still funny though.
On a thatched roof.
Love that. I love that in Assassin's Creed 2 so much. Yeah. Imagine going to work as a guard and then be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Petruccio, you're going on the roof again. No, stop putting me on the roof."
They always had that. If you ever fought them and they would go to fall off, there'd be that moment where they would step off. Hold in midair and then just
fall like Looney Tunes, fucking Wile E. Coyote style.
Yeah. While they were doing an animation, they couldn't fall, so they were like, "Swap."
Literally,
so stupid. I used to love it though, and also with the whole building thing, they kind of screwed that up in Assassin's Creed 3. This isn't a new thing. Assassin's Creed 3 was set in like revolutionary America, and it's like the biggest thing they have is like a 3-story building.
I would
the way they would have to have fleshed that out would have just been to have it where you could go in every building.
Yeah.
Well, they had some buildings.
In Unity,
the way they fleshed it out was they added boat combat, and then suddenly, boom, pirate game. Thanks for the segue, Joe. I'll be taking this from now. I've been playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Nostalgia,
I was about to mention I would love a remaster of that game. Black Flag. Yeah, I would I would love a remaster of it. Yeah, but can you imagine it with like all the refined graphics and less bugginess and everything?
So nice. that is one thing. Is I played it again recently. Fantastic game. You know, it's pirates. Everyone loves pirates. You can't not like pirates. Yeah, they did a little bit of the other things that I can't say online because we'd get like demonetized and stuff. They did a little bit of that. They did a little bit of trolling.
A little bit of bad things.
But
a little bit of bad things.
Like there's no reason not to like idealize the idea of like complete and total freedom in the Caribbean, providing that total freedom was 60 frames, which half the time it isn't, because Assassin's Creed Black Flag is one of the worst optimized games I've ever played in my entire life.
Which is Unity, and that was the same.
Which is unfair to say, because normally Ubisoft are so good at optimizing stuff. They really are. Like, just play anything. Like,
really nicely optimized games, but shit games.
You receive a shit game.
Or good performance.
I receive a well-optimized. What a trade deal. So, I mean, it's just incredible. But all the towns I've got, like, you know, I'm not going to brag here, but I've got a pretty good PC. And Assassin's Creed Black Flag rolls up my PC into a big joint and then just sticks it all the way up their nose and puffs it because it just laughs at it. Any of the major cities, if you turn too quickly, it's like Edward has like a seizure, and suddenly everything drops to 10 frames.
They have a history of running everything through the CPU, don't they?
Well, don't worry, because I was like, oh shit, this is kind of bad. So I started looking up how to fix it and stuff like that. And the general consensus is, there's no fix. That bitch terminal, it going down regardless. There are a few ways to mitigate it. If you go directly into like the NVIDIA drivers and stuff, and you change like the way the VSync works on it and stuff like that, you can get it to sort of consistently run at 60 frames. But that didn't bother me. After like 4 hours in, I was singing Yo-Ho, I was drinking rum, I was doing unsavory things to other people on boats. It's a fantastic game. It's so good.
I think it's a perfect comparison to Valhalla in the sense like Black Flag was the first really big open world, right? I know they're all open worlds, but it was the first one they had like you can go wherever you want in the sea. There's other islands you can go on, right? And in Black Flag, you can pretty much go on any island that you see. Even you can go underwater and find hidden underwater caves. You can do unsavory things to whales, and you know
you can do that.
And like you had that massive open space, but you had so much to do in that massive open space.
That's the big word. Variety really was the spice of the pirate's life,
and so much of it as well. And Valhalla, you can go from one end of the map to the fucking other and not find anything.
This is why Skull and Bones will fail. This genuinely is why. Because they were like, people love Assassin's Creed Black Flag. They love being pirates and fighting and stuff. But what they didn't realise is it was the variety. Yes, I could be a pirate, but if I got bored, I could just get off the boat and go stab somebody.
You could go back to normal Assassin's Creed again.
Yeah. If I wanted to, I could just get off the boat and go do that. Or if I wanted to, say I got bored of sailing around and assassinating, why don't I just go underwater, do a little swimming minigame? Maybe like harpoon the shit out of a whale, do assassin's contracts, do naval contracts, go around and find all the hidden chests that are around that give you specific and special pieces of loot.
Valhalla back though, didn't they have naval boat combat in Valhalla?
They had it in Odyssey. They haven't really got rid of it since then. Really, it's always been a bit of a.
They just don't utilize it as much. But the thing is, 90% of the stuff you've just said in Black Flag are fun. Like
fun,
actually, pretty fun to do.
Fun things to do.
Yeah, they don't have that anymore. They're all boring.
It's like, what would you like to do? I'd like to have a rhyming rap battle against some drunk pisshead, and then also become a drunk pisshead 10 minutes later.
I feel like games...
The exciting things to do in Valhalla.
I feel like games...
Let me climb rock.
Especially like Assassin's Creed, haven't figured out we don't like tailing missions. Like,
Taylor
no
missions.
one likes the fucking tailing.
my favourite
Fucking
part.
Mafia do it, where you gotta, like, just drive really slowly behind a car. Days Gone has it, where you have to just go into a little group of, like, soldiers and listen in. Assassin's Creed have it, where you just gotta fucking tail them, but if you lose sight of them for 5 seconds, you fucking fail the mission because you're jumping off a fucking roof.
I still find
Maybe,
it
like,
funny
once.
that the sight thing about that is based on your actual camera placement, though.
Yeah.
So you could be on the other side of a massive courtyard with 12 buildings in the way, but providing 1 pixel of it can be seen by your camera, they're like, you know where he is.
Yeah, you're fine.
You know where he is.
The thing is,
It's
with,
like Edward just senses him across like half of Havana. I know you're there.
Like, maybe to make the tailing missions harder, they should, if you lose sight of them, it doesn't tell you where they are.
And then what? You should go into like Eagle Vision or whatever and follow the footsteps. I feel like they've done stuff like that before.
I mean, maybe they have. Like I said,
And
I
once
haven't
again,
played
half of it
Assassin's
is
Creed
you're trying to
since
sneak
Ezio.
around, but then like to mix it up a bit, they add restricted areas and stuff. So you climb on the roof, and sure enough, there's Petruccio. Get down from here! This is my roof. Fuck off!
the thing is about Taylor missions, I think if there's just like 1 or 2, you can get over it. Fucking Revelations, not my mission. But, oh my god, like every mission is basically a fucking Taylor mission. It's so much worse than the previous 2 games.
It's the same with Days Gone. I know not all of us have played that game, but like Days Gone will literally give you like 2 or 3 main missions to do, and then a tailing mission, then 2 or 3 main missions to do, then a tailing mission, and every time you're like, for fuck's sake, I just can't be arsed.
Do you think it's to make it
you guys
easier when they're
have done
developing? They're just like, right, here's the formula. We're gonna stick with it, and we can pad out the game with this. Like, then they only have to make they only have to do the back end work for 1 tailing mission. And we're like, ha, there's 4 missions in the bag.
Yeah.
Done. That's like
I mean,
time
I guess
on the game.
when they're done well, they're done well. Like, but they're very rarely ever done well.
Because I bet, like, behind the scenes on some of these like development studios, they're like, right, like the investors or the people who aren't making the game, but they're the people who like make the decisions, or like, this has got to make this much money or whatever. Some of them must be like, oh, our game must be 15 hours long. It must involve this. And so then do you think devs are just like, right, fuck, we can get an easy win here. We make one of these missions, copy it 4 times, there's an hour, done.
Yeah, it could well be. It's
I
a
can't
bit
ever
lazy.
believe that
So.
as gamers, they're like, oh, these, like you say, these tailor missions are so good.
Or maybe they just added in as filler. Like they're
Well,
just
let's
like, we need to
deliberately
pack this
add
up.
Shit ones in. To
Yeah.
make the okay ones.
Well, the problem with Days Gone is that they spent all their time and resources making a white character, straight male that likes ass, you know? Which apparently was the reason people didn't buy it, according to the developer, the lead developer at Ben Studios, who was promptly fired.
He said that
also,
after he was fired.
Another thing that's even weirder as well about that kind of stuff is, I don't know if you guys have heard anything about Hogwarts Legacy. I know you guys are hyped. You all like Dobby. I know Dobby's the best character.
Not me personally.
Well, you don't like Dobby?
Oh no, I like Dobby. I'm not hyped about Hogwarts.
Everybody loves Dobby. Did you know he can deep throat a Nimbus 3000? Crazy.
Oh my god.
Anyway, no, but this is the kind of shit that J.K. Rowling says all the time, doesn't she? I've heard a lot of people basically being like, because she's such a horrible, bigoted, like transphobic lady that nobody likes and is actually just a rancid piece of shit. People have started, like, basically
Yes, I've seen
spending
this.
the money of what they would buy Hogwarts Legacy with, the game, and giving it to like trans rights communities and stuff like that as like a donation. And
such pretentious pricks.
I'm neither here nor there, but at the end of the day, yeah, she's a horrible lady. She is.
What do people think that changes? People are still going to buy the game. If you like the world, separate it from her. Like, stop being a bellend.
What's it going to change? But you know, like, if they got everyone to do it and the game tanked, they wouldn't make another one. So the logic behind their idea is, we don't buy the game. It means they don't make another one, which means, because I don't know if this is true or not, but I imagine she maybe gets some back end money.
Oh, she must have $1,000,000%.
Like, I don't know how much legally she owns of Harry Potter. Like, don't get me wrong, if she doesn't own any part of this game and won't make any money off it, then yes, this is completely a meaningless stance essentially, because the studio themselves, yes, they'll lose your money, but they'll be like, oh, we'll just make something else. It's no bother to them.
J.K. Rowling will make money off Hogwarts Legacy.
Is that what?
Did you just type in? Does she?
Okay, so well, let's assume she does make money off it then, based off Joe's quick Google. It does kind of make a bit of a stance against her, just purely because if the game was really successful, they're more likely to make another one, which would then make her even more money. Whereas if thousands of people, it would have to be a lot, don't get me wrong, didn't buy it, who would?
Yeah,
it's you're increasing the chances that it wouldn't get made again. Like
I think,
in the end,
I think Will's right though, as in like you've got to try and separate the author from the franchise kind of thing.
If you dislike that person enough, and you're like, oh, this game I'm buying is going to help them, you're like, fuck that, I'm not helping.
Well, what I'm basically saying is, yes, you can separate it, but at the end of the day, she's still going online and basically retconning stuff about the franchise. And people are like, why would you even say any of this stuff? Like, what's done is done.
She shot herself in the foot. Like, she should have just like stayed
Shot herself in the foot. She's pulled the trigger about 9 times at this point.
Don't get me wrong. I think she's an idiot. I don't stand by what she thinks. My issue is, right, in that people just being the way they are, is most of these people that are doing this think they're so fucking good for doing it, right? And what annoys me more is those people are so, like, on people that actually want to just play the game and don't care about anything political, and they're just constantly on you, like, oh yeah, you're just supporting, like, why they're being like knobheads to everyone who just wants to play the game, because
there's always two sides. Because also, like, I doubt every developer who's made this game is like, I stand by JK.
Literally,
yeah, exactly.
Like they're just making it because it's their job, and these people are like then harassing them for being involved in it.
They're harassing for that, and then making people feel bad for buying the game. Don't fucking care what anyone says. If you want to buy the game,
buy the game and just enjoy it.
Literally,
if it's good.
I don't play Harry Potter.
You're funding her horrendous thoughts.
100%. These people buy Coke.
The thing is,
fucking dams in Africa.
Regardless of whether you buy the game or not, J.K. Rowling is still going to. Regardless of whether you buy the game or not, J.K. Rowling is still going to make millions from all the fucking other Harry Potter shit that's already out there anyway. So you're not gonna. I don't think she's gonna be going, because I reckon she makes fucking tens of fucking millions a year, probably off of the Harry Potter stuff, right? So she's not going to be like, oh, people aren't buying the game, I'm going to be losing out on a couple million this year. No, she's not. She's already got fucking tens of millions. She's fine.
Karen from fucking Bristol isn't going to make a fucking difference. Shut your mouth. Let people enjoy their time.
J.K. Rowling is apparently worth $1 billion.
Let's go.
There you go.
$1 billion.
It's not going to make a fucking difference in her life, is it?
The thing is, I don't care.
She was added to the Book of Billionaires.
Yeah, clearly you don't care, Will. This is the most passionate.
It's just the people that do it are just honestly nearly always a bellend.
I don't think I've seen you this passionate in a while.
I was going to say, Will's like, Will rants and rambles, and then he goes, but I don't care.
But I don't, like, at the end of the day, I don't agree with anything she says, but, like, stop making people feel, like, bad for wanting to just enjoy that world. Like,
and it's
just annoying.
With it, it's like, do you think, like, yeah, the other angle take with it is, so any other game, do you think, like, everyone making that game is a good person? There's probably some dickhead making money
literally
off that game. So, like, do you just boycott every game unless you know exactly who's getting money from that game?
And it's not like people are going to go, oh yes, J.K. Rowling thinks it's about trans, I will do the same. Or if they do, then they're just a bellend as well, and they're irrelevant. So just enjoy the game. Ignore people.
You heard it here first. Will Davey hates trans rights?
No, not at all. But it's just,
okay.
I'm
joking, Will.
Just enjoy the game. Don't care what people think. Just stop signing your fucking petitions about boycotting it. Just enjoy it.
So, Denver, you've been playing much F1 Manager?
Anyway, yeah.
Not as much as normal, actually. Not as much as normal. Just finished the season pass for Call of Duty.
Whoa.
So that's done, ready for the new season, which they've delayed again. Just like they did last year.
common
conspiracy
culture in
theories.
gaming right now. Fucking delaying everything.
It really is.
Delaying and pre-hating it before.
But to be honest, I'd rather them delay a game and it come out great than their workers getting fucking absolutely hammered to death.
I think Cyberpunk has started that. Like, it's the first big game that people were really hyped for that was unplayable.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you get buggy games at launch where you're like, oh, this is shit, and you get a few people like rage out. That was like so bad that it got taken down from stores and wasn't allowed to be sold. Like, that's how unbelievably bad it was.
Yeah,
so I think that has started a thing now.
rough
Like,
launch.
you always see in comments when stuff's delayed, you get a few people like, oh, fuck's sake. But most people are like, and it's always the top comments, are like, oh, I'd rather it work and wait another 6 months than be shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't a 6 months fix at that point. The state that it was released in was
I mean,
never
it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was gonna say even probably more than that. I think it was worse than most early access games.
Well, it's like you bring up again, Denver. It's like it was probably more just shareholders pushing it at that point when they were like, "Where's our money?
Where's our return?"
Yeah, literally. Because and they released it as it was, and what it was a game that didn't run and looked like a PS1 game if you weren't standing about 2 feet away from something.
I never heard anything from like devs of the game, so I assume they must have been like NDA.
They got executed. As far as I'm aware,
because
they
they must have known when they pushed release on it. They knew it was shit.
There's no way they didn't.
Like even some of the best cases of it. I mean, you played it yourself around launch, didn't you, Aidan? Like what kind of like because you were able to actually play the game. Like what kind of things were just shit?
Hang on, sorry, I've got to let my dog in. She just demanded it, otherwise we were going to have whining at the door. Yeah, I played it like probably a month later or something like that. It was actually the reason I got my graphics card that I've got now. It was just, I mean, truthfully, like I experienced a few bugs. Some of them like more notable than others. Some of them that I thought that were quite funny. I liked when I called for a vehicle on a slope and the vehicle floated above me next to me and then dropped to the floor and crashed. Like, I liked when, even though I turned nudity off because I've got self-conscious issues, sometimes I would wear clothes and look down and see my flaccid penis through the trousers. And half the guns just appeared in my hands without a slide or anything like that. But, like at the end of the day, they're just little things. And realistically...
I had missions that physically wouldn't work.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was the thing that got me the most, was literally being locked out of content because the game was so broken.
Yeah.
Like, I entered a mission from an area where you weren't supposed to enter it, and the game was just like, guess no mission.
Like,
was it. Literally, that was it. It was just, I was like, so I've got to do this and scan this and this, right? And it was like, no.
There was a quest in the game that basically was like you have to go fight these mini bosses, right? So you have to go and there's these like big cyber things, big cyber people, all have their own little quirks, and you have to go kill them all. That's like one of the little side missions in the game. And for me, 3 of them wouldn't spawn in. So I'd go to the area, do all the stuff, and they just wouldn't spawn in. So I never finished that because the game wouldn't let me.
So you never finished the game?
Well, it was like a side mission. I finished the actual game. There was 2 side missions that I couldn't complete because
I hear it's like
of that.
a lot more playable, and they've added like a lot more like features that just should have been in there. Like I think like water actually splashes now. When the game first came out, water just didn't react.
You'd throw a grenade in there or something, and just nothing would happen.
Whereas like stuff does like just little things like that they've improved. But I'm sort of now just waiting for their expansion, and then I'll just sort of play it in one with the expansion.
Yeah, if that's fair.
But they have sort of canned it, because I think it was supposed to have like 2-3 expansions, and because of how they've had to spend a year just fixing the game.
I think it's the biggest disappointment of a game ever, because people were so hyped for it because they were advertising it to be Last of Us 2. They were hyping it up to just be this amazing game, and I feel like it wasn't just the hype; it was what they were advertising isn't what the game.
It was like like how many lines of dialogue that apparently like were in it, and
yeah.
And not only that, it was obviously carried by CD Projekt Red, well known for The Witcher 3, which most people, which I don't really get how. Like,
I know, so it's the best game ever.
Truthfully, suck my ass, girl. I can't be bothered with your gravelly ass voice, but like some people regard that as like the best game ever made.
It's a very good game.
But then a lot of people after Cyberpunk come out and they saw it as a status in, they were sat there almost like laughing in the little fucking smoking armchairs, like The Witcher 3 also released in an unfinished state. It's like, well, I wish you fucking told us.
Yeah. They did though. They did.
Yeah, apparently Witcher 3 took like a year before it was
playable.
It was good.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this? Neptune Moon. The devs did come out and say it was unfinished. It was a massive fuck-up, clearly pushed by the office workers. And to be fair, even today, it's still being optimized to a point where it's finally looking nice and playing stable.
Yeah.
I mean,
it has like a massive resurgence.
I also like the
especially because of the anime edge runners.
Like the physics in that game just didn't make sense as well. You could be going full speed at your car into a wall, and your car just stop and nothing happens. And your car's not even damaged. They might fix that now. You could go into like the outside area where it's all deserty, and like cars would just pop in left, right, and centre. That was a big thing that kept happening. A bit of a bug. So yeah.
At the end of the day, it was over ambitious. It was probably overfunded, and like underdeveloped.
Yeah.
And there's not really a lot else you can do about it. A lot of people go on about like crunch culture and stuff like that, where like people at the final like few months of the game, people are like sleeping in the office and stuff like that. But apparently, it's just something that people it's just part of the industry. Like you've got to accept that some people want it out by a certain time, and if you don't do that, they can the entire thing.
Well,
so you could be spending years working on something that never even gets released.
They'll probably have goals for certain points, and when they first start, as soon as they like get behind, it's like just crunch because they're playing catch up behind.
I know I can't remember what developer said it. I think it was like the original Uncharted developer said if a company is making a game, it's fucking lucky that it gets released most of the time. Games are so hard to make. Like 90% of them are just canned.
It's so expensive to make as well.
What studio was it that were working on a game? I'm not sure if it was Naughty Dog were working on something else before Uncharted 4, and they got pulled off it to make Uncharted 4.
Well, this happened with if you ever played Firewatch. Incredible game, very good, and they were making an Egyptian themed game. It's all on Steam and everything. They had a trailer and everything. Valve bought the developers and put them on a completely new game, so that whole game just got scrapped.
It was like
you can see it on Steam, literally, and it's like no order for release. It's just like been sat there for years.
But that being said, what do you think would have at least financially done better? Like that, and the game from Firewatch or whatever, or what they ended up being, which was the only Valve VR title, Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, that's
hey,
they
you're coming in
working on it.
Right, bye.
But it's the same. It's the same with Ben Studios. They really wanted to make another Days Gone because Days Gone actually did pretty well. People say it fucking bombed, but it didn't. People actually say that game's quite good. And they were like, "Oh, can we make a second one?" And Sony were like, "Nah, you're gonna go help Naughty Dog do Last of Us Part 1," and it's never gonna get made now, which I'm really sad about because I really like Days Gone.
I bet there'll be some resurgence. Anything else you've played, Denver?
The only other thing was I started playing The Ascent.
The Ascent,
which is
I need a drink for this.
Which is like a isometric.
I've just realised that I have a cup in my room. So
twin stick shooter.
Giant Dr. Pepper there.
Where you're like, it's like cyberpunk setting, but everyone sort of lives in this city, and it's the classic like poor people live at the bottom of this. It's like a big tower of a city. The poor people live at the bottom, the rich people live at the top. And then there's like this group called the Ascent, and they're almost like a bit of a gang, is how I understand it. There is like cutscenes and everything in it. It's quite well done. It's very like, I don't know, like it's a compact game. Like I've only played it for like an hour, but everything like sounds really good. Everything looks really good, like graphically, like it's super like high resolution. In terms of its details, but like you make your own character, and then you always the beginning of it is a bit like how Star Wars Fallen Order starts, where you're like a guy doing a job, you're working for like bit of a dick boss, and he's like, "Hey, we're having a problem in the so and so room. You need to go in there and see what's going on." You go in there, and there's like these creatures that have attacked it all.
Sounds a bit like Stray.
And so you sort of go in there, clear them out, and then you sort of find that this Ascent group have just disappeared. So it's paved the way for these like other gangs to try and come in to sort of take over what they were doing. So it's quite a like it has very RPG elements. So you can like go to vendors, buy different guns. You can buy different like augmentations for your characters to have like different abilities and stuff. It's quite. I'm quite looking forward to seeing where it goes. Really.
Is it on Steam or PlayStation?
Steam, yeah.
Are you playing it on PlayStation or Steam?
I'm playing it on the Steam Deck.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
When did you get a Steam Deck?
he's got money.
You didn't tell me you got a Steam Deck, you dirty little pig. Where is it?
You'd fucking buy one.
But the one thing I'm finding with the Steam Deck is I'm having to like, even though I played the Ascent because I got it on a part of Humble Bundle a while ago, and it said it was like verified for the Steam Deck, so it was like perfect. I'll just play through this because I thought I'd use the Steam Deck as like a when I've got half an hour, and I'm not on my computer, I can just pick up and play something. And the thing I've noticed, even though that's a verified game, the text is so small that you have to hold it like this to your face, because the text is like still the same size as if it's got a big monitor. So you know, like when you had like a PSP or whatever, the games were adjusted for the PSP, whereas you don't get that with the Steam Deck. It's kind of like it's whether it physically works. Yeah.
Dog.
Is the Steam Deck adjusted for blind people?
No.
What?
Aidan just did that to show off his tattoo. He was like...
Literally. That's like what he's doing.
I didn't even notice the tattoo.
No, I didn't. It's over now, lads. Everybody knows. There's nothing special about it anymore. Now I need to get more.
The text being really small is like quite an interesting thing. To, like, because just games don't.
Well, the thing is, most games you can adjust the subtitles now.
When was the last time you went on a game?
Like, when was the last time you went on a game and you saw an option to increase the size of like
the subtitles?
Gun? No, not subtitles. Subtitles are not the issue. It is in-game like mission logs.
Right, I see what you mean.
What your gun is in the bottom right corner, and the name of it is in tiny text underneath it. When you've got like a 21-inch, 24-inch monitor, it's not a problem. But when you've got a 9-inch monitor and everything's scaled down the same, it's tiny.
I know what you mean.
So, and
I feel like
no
9
games,
inches is big enough.
not many games have a UI scaling option. I mean, maybe there's settings within it that I just haven't discovered yet. Like I say, I've barely used it really, but I am finding that. But I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I was playing through it loads, but then a mission.
What was it called again, Denver?
The Ascent.
The Ascent.
I mean, I've just realised that I got it in the Humble Bundle as well. So
Yeah, I was going to say, you'll probably have it as well.
I might give it a go. The reviews aren't great for it, are they?
They're
I
mixed.
don't know,
Mixed to mostly positive.
I don't know what people said about it, but it
It
seems
looks
alright so far.
interesting. So, all these games we've said, would we recommend them all? Question.
Oh, we're doing that, are we?
Why not?
I don't think I'd recommend Valhalla.
Or
No.
FIFA.
Or FIFA. No, negative. I'm a negative Nancy.
I would recommend Journey, and I would 100% recommend Star Wars Fallout, especially if you like Star Wars.
I've never played Black Flag, so I wouldn't know.
Denver?
The Ascent, I haven't played enough of it to really know whether I'd recommend it or not, because like at the moment, I currently stopped it just because I got stuck immediately. And we're like an hour in. But I'm pretty done with games.
Would you recommend the Steam Deck though?
I'd recommend the Steam Deck. It's just handy.
Yeah, but so's a screwdriver, but that's like £6. It's not like 500.
Well, I didn't buy the 500 quid one.
Well,
my logic was I had £100 already in my Steam wallet, so I was like, "That's £100 off a Steam Deck."
Why did you sell these CSGO guns? The Monster Mash.
No, I didn't sell them all. Still got some, but I sold like 50 quid's worth. And then what was the other game? Fallen Order. Yeah, it's solid, isn't it? It's not a bad game anyway. It's just compared to others, it's nowhere near as fleshed out. But as a complete 7, 8 out of 10 game, it's
at the end of the day,
and if you're a
it's
Star Wars
EA.
fan, yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, it's going to boost it to an easy. You should play this.
Yeah.
Whereas I would say F1 Manager.
No.
If you're not an F1 fan, you will never play this game. You would never want to because it has so many just things that aren't great about it, but I will look past them because I love F1 and it's the only game kind of like that.
And for the 12 other people that like F1, you're probably over 65, so take your medication and make sure you don't
it's a young people's
No,
sport.
it is definitely a young people's sport now.
Oh yeah, 100%. I see toddlers biting on the side of iPads watching F1. No, they don't. They're fucking. They're doing the Poppy Playtime Huggy Wuggies. They're doing the Roblox and the
No,
You're
very.
I'm
close to
uncultured.
this.
You're watching cars go.
No, it's
Right?
very popular.
I'm actually annoyed. I didn't even get to talk about the game that I actually 100%ed this month. Turnip Boy commits tax evasion. So we're gonna have to talk about that next time because we're definitely running out of time and my chicken balls are getting cold.
Well, I had a thing we're going to do with this podcast potentially, if people like it, is one question because this is a monthly podcast. And I thought, do you know what? As soon as it's January, let's make this question. What is your most highly anticipated game this year?
Highly anticipated game. And we'll answer at the start of next week. Or next
Well,
week.
you can answer it right now.
Oh, that's good right now.
Probably Turnip Boy commits tax evasion 2.
What games are coming out this year?
I mean, currently there's not really been a lot that's super.
Been announced really either.
Yeah,
There is loads of games this year.
Diablo 4.
fair enough. That's very,
Or
very
Starfield. But maybe Diablo 4, because I definitely know Diablo 4 is going to be a game where it'll have to be really bad for me to not like it. Where Starfield could be, if it's just average, I'll be pissed.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like it will just be average. I'm going to throw it right out there. It's a Bethesda
Starfield?
game, yeah. I don't know when they're bringing out the next
But have you
Elder
not
Scrolls
seen
game,
it's got
but
3 times more dialogue than Skyrim? So
that
therefore
doesn't
it's
mean
definitely gonna be
anything.
better.
This is just you can throw that in with the world's 10 times bigger, or there's 75 hours more content. It's I don't need 75 more hours on top of an 100-hour massive open world, 30,000 lines of dialogue game. All right, I've played The Witcher. Yeah, there's probably 1 million lines of dialogue in it, but half of them are just "The Witcher, there you are. Come looking around our village, are you? Would you like some cheese?" It's fuck off, who? I don't care.
Quick side thing then, the great thing with The Witcher is how many people live in a little village where it's 50 yards away from a horrible monster.
Yeah,
It really is. It's
all of our
Midsummer
younglings
Murder
keep getting taken when they're going to the field, my lord. You turn around and there's a wraith in the field flying around. And they're we don't know why. They play in the corn and suddenly they come back dead. And that's just 2 more lines of dialogue on top of the 10 million that's in the game. Fucking Witcher.
Aidan.
Oh yeah, fuck. I don't really know, to be perfectly honest. I'm gonna throw it out there. They're definitely not gonna do an Elden Ring 2 anytime soon. So all the things that I would like a lot. No, tell you what. If they do bring it out, they've not released anything or said anything about it. But Last of Us Factions would be the thing that I would be most excited for.
God!
If it came out this year, that would be the thing that I would care about the most.
We don't even know if it's a game or
We don't even know.
mode.
We don't even know. And
Or just literally.
And I really genuinely maybe Jedi Survivor, but even still, I'm excited to play it because I played the first one, but not. You're a Star Wars fanboy or whatever, whereas me, I'm just a peruser of hating gingers, so I have to play every game to make sure it's terrible.
Yeah. Joe.
Probably Factions as well. I definitely think I want to talk about that a lot more next time because, thinking about what it could be and what they're going to do with it, type of thing. But if it's not a scam, The Day Before looks pretty good. But it's definitely a scam.
That's a scam.
The scam game.
Jedi Survivor, Dead Island 2, Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, but which is the most? You have to pick one.
Hogwarts
Yeah,
Legacy.
it is a one.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Hogwarts Legacy.
If Factions doesn't come out next year.
You will.
For me, it is either Hogwarts Legacy, Jedi Survivor, or potentially Hades 2.
One will.
But
Can you pick
The
one?
other played.
because I'm a massive fucking Star Wars nerd, it's got to be Jedi Survivor. Especially having just played it, it's made me so much more hyped for the new one. So, and the trailer looked amazing. So I'm gonna go with Jedi Survivor.
The only thing that worries me about the Hogwarts Legacy, it's made by like a completely new studio. That's the only thing that worries me about it.
It's Avalanche.
I mean, wait,
They're
yeah,
not-
they actually made loads of stuff.
Oh, really? I thought it was like a different, like, completely new studio.
No, it's Avalanche. I don't know what else they made, but
They made a lot of games.
Yeah.
Made a lot of shit.
They made Cars 2. Let's
I
go,
was going to
boys.
say they've made Disney
Yeah!
games. They've made like Disney Infinity, Cars 2. Other quickly like notable games that are coming out that I'm not sure if you remembered. So like Dead Island 2 is coming out. Atomic Heart. Payday
Is that
3.
not right? Oh, is that coming out this year?
Apparently,
Fuck yeah,
it's down
Payday
for this
3.
year.
Mm.
the day before.
The Lords of the Fallen, which is like another Souls-like.
Forspoken is coming out as well, but I don't think anyone's really got high anticipations or high expectations for that
I
game.
mean, you did until you played the demo.
I played the demo and it wasn't very good.
There's
Sons
also
of the Forest.
Redfall, which is that like vampire-y hunter game.
Aidan the SpongeBob SquarePants Cosmic Shake.
Oh yeah, okay, so that's it. Then. That's the number one up there. Like,
Yeah.
you laugh. I'd play it. I played Battle for Bikini Bottom recently. What a fucking sick game. So good.
So many games we've recently played. So little time. I'll have to talk
true,
about
I'm gonna be
next
dead
time.
tomorrow.
One final thing. There's big talk about Simpsons Hit and Run getting a remake because they've just released the soundtrack on Spotify for the
Whoa.
original game, and it's so nostalgic to listen to. It's crazy, and I think it's like the 20th anniversary. There's big talk of it. I know that it's also the highest requested remake of any other game. Please, I beg.
Who
I would
made
love
the
to.
original?
I don't know, but it's so long ago. Anyway, how do we end this?